Shalom, shalom, Mishpachah. I will be reading in Genesis chapter 6 about Noach. This is the Torah portion for this week, and I thought it would be very appropriate if I try to do Torah portions every week. Okay, so I'm going to be reading Genesis chapter 6, verse 9 to 22 here first in Genesis, and then we will go on to, it's going to be Genesis 6:9 to Genesis 11:32, which is the whole Torah portion. But in Genesis it goes to 22, and then we will be going on to the next chapter. Okay, so let's get started. This is the genealogy of Noach. Noach, or Noah, was a righteous man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with YHWH. And Noah brought forth 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the earth was corrupt before this is Elohim, I say Eloah. And incidentally, in the Dead Sea Scrolls, it does say Elohim as well. And the earth was filled with violence, and Eloah looked upon the earth and saw that it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And YHWH said to Noach, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And see, I am going to destroy them from the earth. Make yourselves an ark of gopher wood, make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with tar. And this is how you are to make it. The length of the ark is 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. And see, I myself am bringing floodwaters on the earth to destroy all flesh, in which is the breath of life from under the heavens. And all that is on the earth is to die. And I shall establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you and your sons and your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And all of the living creatures of all flesh, 2 of each, you are to bring into the ark, to keep them alive with you, a male and a female. Of the birds after their kind, and of the cattle after their kind, and of all creeping creatures of the earth after their kind, 2 of each, are to come to you to keep them alive. As for you, take all the food that is eaten and gather it to yourselves, and it shall be food for you and for them. And Noach did according to all that YHWH commanded him, so did he. Okay, so let's move on to chapter 7. And Yahweh said to Noach, come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. Of all of the clean beasts, take you with 7 pairs, a male and his female, and of the beasts that are unclean, 2, a male and his female. And of birds of the heavens, 7 pairs, male and female, to keep offspring alive on the face of all the earth. For after 7 more days I am sending rain on the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and shall wipe from the face of the earth all that stand that I created. And Noach did according to all that Yahweh commanded him. Now Noach was 600 years old when the floodwaters were on the earth. And Noach and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives went into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Of the clean beasts and of the beasts that are unclean, and of the birds and of all that creep on the earth, 2 by 2 they went into the ark to Noach, male and female, as YHWH had commanded Noach. And Noach is how they say Noah in Hebrew also. And it came to be after 7 days that the waters of the flood were on the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, or Noach's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month. On that day all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of the heavens were opened. And the rain was on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On that same day Noach and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noach, and Noach's wife, and 3 sons with them, went into the ark. They and every living creature after its kind, and every beast after its kind, and every creeping creature that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, every bird of every sort. And they went into the ark of Noah, or Noach, 2 by 2 of all flesh, in which is the breath of life. And those going in, male and female of all flesh, went in as HalleluYAH had commanded him, and Yahweh shut him in. So Yahweh closed the door of the ark, and no one could open it. And the flood was on the earth 40 days, and the waters increased, and lifted up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. And the waters were mighty, and greatly increased on the earth, and the ark moved about on the surface of the waters. And the waters were exceedingly mighty on the earth, and all the high mountains under all the heavens were covered. Verse 20. The waters became mighty, 15 cubits upward, and the mountains were covered. And all the flesh died that moved on the earth, birds and cattle, and beasts, and every creeping creature that creeps on the earth, and all mankind. And all in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of the spirit of life, and that was on the dry land, died. So he wiped off all that stand, which were on the face of the ground, both man and beast, creeping creature, and bird of the heavens, and they were wiped off from the earth, and only Noah was left, and those with him in the ark. And the waters were mighty on the earth 150 days. Okay. Let's go to 7 or 8. Now we're reading Genesis chapter 8. And HalleluYAH remembered Noach and all the beasts and all the cattle that were with him in the ark. And HalleluYAH made a wind to pass over the earth, and waters subsided. And the fountains of the deep and the windows of the heavens were stopped, and the rain from the heavens was withheld. And the waters receded steadily from the earth, and at the end of the 150 days the waters diminished. In the 7th month, the 17th day of the month, the ark rested on the mountains of Ararat, and the waters decreased steadily until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, the tops of the mountains became visible. And it came to be at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he made. And he sent out a raven, which he kept going out and turning back until the waters had dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove from him to see if the waters had receded from the face of the ground. But the dove found no resting place for its feet, and returned into the ark, for the waters were on the face of all the earth. So he put out his hand and took it, and pulled it into the ark to himself. And he waited yet another 7 days, and again he sent the dove out from the ark. And the dove came to him in the evening, and see, a freshly plucked olive leaf was in its mouth. And Noach knew that the waters had receded from the earth. He waited yet another 7 days, and sent out the dove, which did not return unto him again. And it came to be in the 601st year, in the 1st month, the 1st day of the month, that the waters were dried up from the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and saw the surface of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dry. And HalleluYAH spoke to Noah, saying, Go out of the ark, and you and your wife and your sons' wives with you. Bring out with you every living creature of all flesh that is with you, of birds, of cattle, all creeping things, and all creeping creatures that creep on the earth, and let them teem on the earth, and bear and increase on the earth. So Noah went out, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. Every beast, every creeping creature, and every bird, whatever creeps on the earth according to their kinds, went out of the ark. And Noah built an altar to Yahweh, and took of every clean beast and of every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And Yahweh smelled a soothing fragrance, and Yahweh said in his heart, Never again shall I curse the ground because of man, although the inclination of man's heart is evil from his youth, and never again will smite all living creatures as I have done. Verse 22, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease. And that's a promise to us, so that we know that we can always grow a garden, we can always harvest, we can always do everything that we need to do to provide for ourselves, because it's always going to be the way that it is now. The seasons and day and night, everything will be here as long as the earth remains. It's a promise of Yahweh. Okay, let's begin Genesis chapter 9.